My first impressions of Beatrice and Virgil are eloquent representations of two friends coming together despite their race. Perhaps Virgil has been taken by someone who's seen the posters, possibly killed, and the posters are on page 76 and page 77. I think the taxidermist is trying to get at something as empty and without reason as the posters are enough to convince someone. All is needed is opinionated observations, which is what the posters are, to convince someone to not help Beatrice despite her pleas. For example, on page 79, a quote, "Yes, like the ones you've read about, but those posters are all lies. No, I tell you, he's the sweetest, kindest, most honorable animal," unquote. I believe she is then asked for verification of his species, because that is what she goes on to say, meaning they only are concerned with that, his species. They don't care about all she just said. They just want to make sure that he is in fact a howler monkey. The slaughter of the animals was hard for me to read. However, it was hard for me to read because it was showing the total annihilation of a population, similar or exactly like genocide. Martel must include the story to show how overlooked this was because of a few good deeds. Julian opened his heart in the end, which is great, but he is never forced to address his insatiable appetite for killing. Simply atoning for a small percentage of one's sins is often enough to have them all overlooked. This is not right, however, it happens every day. There is something morally wrong with the posters because, quote, "cunning temperament, clinging to life, antisocial behavior," unquote, is enough to warrant an ugly label. Grotesque jaw, often with attempt at concealment," unquote, really strikes me because not only are they insulting physical appearance, but making up reasons to dislike them. You cannot rightly judge someone before they even open their mouth. They use this accusation to then label him as untrustworthy. It truly makes my skin crawl reading these posters because it still happens, again, every day. Often I have been ostracized for not looking a certain way, for being overweight, being awkward and unsure, for even wearing my hair tied back every day. Sometimes I have a Beatrice, like a teacher or an empathetic friend. It is a continual situation, and sometimes I take it in stride and remind myself I actually pity them for the hatred they harbor inside them. Other times it brings me to tears and I ask myself, why continue forth? These people will always be around. Be it a small clique of insecure teens or an entire generation of fat shamers. I still feel the pain, the wound, of course, but it does not make me writhe in agony as before. Instead, I think about the attackers. What battles have they faced? What wounds do they tend as they deepen mine? So, of course, I hold empathy to those who experience what I do, just like I do for the attackers. Why? Because hurt is hurt, and it hurts.